So the reason why Myles Turner hasn't been traded, and if you're all like, well, he's going to go to the Lakers and all this, supposedly any deal for Myles Turner began with multiple first-round picks. This whole time, if you follow the NBA show, if you follow, my channel, we kept talking. We're like, what is our man's value, Myles Turner? And this comes from Dan Woike of Los Angeles Times. There are no guarantees that Indiana would even do this deal, and he's regarding to the Buddy Hield Myles Turner deal. League insiders have pointed out that the price for Myles Turner has never been fewer than multiple first-round picks, which, let's be honest, Myles Turner is one of the best defensive centers in the league. Top 5 defensive center, top 15 center in the NBA. That at least makes him, we just saw Rudy Gobert, who's a top 5 center, okay, and the best defensive center in the league, go for multiple first-round picks, and he has an offensive game that is way less. And Myles Turner is a guy who isn't, that far behind Rudy Gobert defensively. Obviously, Rudy Gobert is on another planet defensively, but Myles Turner isn't anybody to laugh at, okay, defensively. He's led the NBA twice in blocks, okay, and he's a guy who, for his career, has a defensive rating of, I believe, 100, and his defensive rating this past year wasn't great, but for his career, I think it's 108 or something. I mean, also he hasn't been on the, for his career, 105. Sorry, I said 108, 105. Been a career plus defender. This past year was his worst defensive season. Okay, he's a guy for his career averaging 2.5 blocks. He's had 3.5 block seasons, 2.7 block seasons, and also averaging about a steal a night. So I think, in my opinion, it makes sense that the deal was. And Buddy Hield's worth a 2nd-round pick. Okay, Buddy Hield is just a shooter, and don't get me wrong, would I like Buddy Hield on this team? Yeah, but Buddy Hield's a guy who is absolutely not a good defender. He hasn't even tried on defense since 2018. Since 2019, he's kind of just coasted on defense and just takes 10 threes a night. Which, don't get me wrong, 10 threes a night's cool and all. And it's crazy to think about that he went from being a guy who averaged 21 points a night on only 8 3-pointers a night to averaging 16.6 points on 10 3-point attempts a night. So he used to only average 8 threes a night and score 20.7, okay? But he went to free throw line about 3 times a night. And then he goes to, last season where he's attempting basically 10 threes a night and averaging 16 points last 2 years. Myles Turner is the guy that everyone should be looking at, trying to acquire. Okay, Myles Turner definitely is worth multiple first-round picks. Right, he's at least the 5th best defensive center in the NBA. That's not even lying. That's just straight up a fact. And if you don't believe it, then you obviously haven't paid attention enough to Myles Turner, because this guy is that good defensively. And for me, I just think it's almost disrespectful from people to act like they're oblivious to the fact that how good this guy is defensively. So that's something that's always kind of pissed me off about how people act like he's nothing special. So I want to hear your thoughts on this whole thing down below. But yeah, a little 4-minute video. I don't know what else we could talk about, my man over here. So second Pacers video about to come out, because we're also talking about the Pacers signing James Johnson, so that'll be interesting, and it'll be interesting. But yeah, okay.